They won't stop coming. I've hit them in every way I know how. I bashed heads in with the heavy pipes I found laying around, and I've even found a loaded gun on one of them that has barely helped me thin their numbers at all. I'm trapped now. I looked out the windows a few hours ago, and they had me surrounded then. God only knows their numbers out there now. I still remember the first one I saw. I was walking about my suburban neighborhood, something I used to do to relax before all of this. From behind, it looked like a normal enough person, just a little bit of a jerk to their walk. But then it turned to face me as I approached. Flesh dripped off of its face as its jaw moved around, trying to make words out of the gurgling coming from its throat, but failing to make any sound beyond a wet, choking groan. I was frozen with fear in that moment. The shambling figure came towards me, and all I could do was stumble onto my backside. Fortunately, the Smith's kids were irresponsible enough with their toys to leave a baseball bat near the side of the road. I picked it up and swung at the head of this monster with all of my might. Blood and brains spilled over the grass and onto the road, but I hit it a few more times just for good measure. What used to be a rotting humanoid face was nothing but a mixture of blood and skull and dead flesh. I wanted to feel relieved at that point, but things became far worse when I took a look around me. The front door of every house was open, filled by more of these hideous creatures. And then they came at me. All at once, they began moving toward my position. Some slowly, some at full tilt. I did the only thing I could do and ran away. I sprinted as fast as I could, teeing off on the heads of any monster that got in my way, the hollow sound of the metal bat vibrating off of rotting skulls, adding an almost rhythmic tune to my escape. My route away from the cul-de-sac led me deep into the woods that the neighborhood was built near. Deeper and deeper I went, never feeling any sense of safety from the rustling of the branches and bushes by the creatures I was sure I heard around me as I continued. That was, until I found my current home. It looks to be an abandoned school, maybe? It's grown over with weeds and plants, and everything looks like it was intentionally broken, piece by piece, as if somebody had a personal vendetta against every brick and tile of the place. Even though it feels like the ceiling could come crashing down on me at any moment, it's the only place I feel any form of safety right now. The basement is the safest place I've found in this building. There's only one entrance that I've lined with empty paint cans I found down here. I need to know when they're coming to keep them from getting too close. 7 of them have come down so far. I found the gun on the 3rd. I hate to say zombie, but is there anything else to call them? I hid after putting down the last, but went to check on the bodies recently. Gone. Streaks of blood painted the stairs as if they had been dragged up them. I don't understand. Are they retrieving the bodies? Are they reviving them outside? There's no more time to write. The last time I checked the windows, I saw them gathering just outside the front entrance. I'm writing this with the last bit of sanity I have left. I pray that there is someone still fully human out there who will find this and know what happened. I've decided to make what may be my last stand. This gun has only 5 rounds left, and I plan to make the best of each shot. Just heard the front door get bashed in, so the basement door must be coming down soon. If you find this, please, spread this story to the world. Everyone must prepare for what's coming if it hasn't overrun the population already. God help us all. Grange County Police Report, case number MH150613. Incident: multiple homicide. Reporting officer: Head Detective Christopher Franks. Date of report: 16 June 2013. At approximately 1100 hours on 15 June 2013, I received a report of multiple assaults on Midway Road. Investigating officers sent to assess the situation reported 3 major head injuries and 1 homicide due to severe head trauma. Officers on the scene followed up on eyewitness reports of the suspect retreating into the nearby forest, pursued by multiple residents. Pursuing officers reported tracking the suspect to a nearby abandoned building and initiating a search of the building. No further transmissions were received. I arrived at the building at approximately 12:45 hours. The single entrance was covered by additional officers responding to the lack of transmissions by the initial responding officers. I ordered for a search of the building for the missing persons. Search results turned up 2 major injuries, 1 civilian with major head trauma and 1 officer with multiple gunshot wounds, and 5 deceased persons, 1 civilian and 1 officer with deadly head trauma, and 3 officers with gunshot wounds to the head. It is believed that the civilians followed the suspect into the building and were killed within. The bodies were found spread throughout most of the basement area and are believed to have been killed while separated from the others. The dead and wounded were retrieved without incident, though officers acted with caution as the suspect was still believed to be inside the building. Empty cans were removed from the stairs as well, believed to be a primitive alarm. A SWAT team was assembled at approximately 1500 hours after receiving approval of force with the purpose of subduing the suspect. Entry was swift and clean through the front entrance. Entry through the basement door was not as simple. The suspect awaited our entrance with a stolen officer's service pistol. The suspect was taken down quickly. No injuries were incurred during the raid. A driver's license was found on the suspect's body, identifying him as Connor Walsh. A search of his residence on Midway Road revealed an experimental drug lab. The drug being produced was unable to be identified by our usual means and has been sent to a more advanced lab for analysis. Mr. Walsh's motive remains unknown. Addendum, 20 June 2013. Lab test results revealed the main property of the drug is to create vivid auditory and visual hallucinations. A screening for this new drug was performed on a sample of Mr. Walsh's blood and has determined that a small amount of the drug was present in his bloodstream at the time of the incident. Cross-referencing the amount of the drug remaining in the lab with the remaining ingredients leads us to believe that Mr. Walsh sold a significant amount of this product prior to his death. Similar reports of excessive violence have begun to appear in surrounding states. Removal of this drug from the civilian population is our top priority. It is unknown how much product remains on the street at this time.